Welcome back, everyone. So these are questions that have been asked to me in follow-up on the Laurie Vallow case. Some of these I had to reach out to people who said that they were cellmates or they spent time in the same pod as Laurie, but I cannot confirm that this lady actually, who spoke with me, actually spent time with Laurie in the same pod or housing unit. I can confirm that this lady is real. She's been arrested. She served 6 months in the same jail and was released last week. That's all I can confirm. So take what she says about Laurie at face value and at that, because we cannot confirm anything more than that. First question I received and people want to follow up on is, does Laurie Vallow get commissary? And the answer to that is yes. Both Chad and her attorney, Mr. Means, have both placed money on her inmate account so she can buy basic hygiene items and some snack items. Now, again, for the next couple of these, again, the source is not 100% confirmed. The former inmate said that Laurie spends most of her time in her actual cell. She comes out to eat, watch a little TV in the common areas where people can watch TV together. But most of the time, she sits on her own bunk reading the Bible. She said she went on to say that uh, Laurie, she's never seen her snack much or drink much, but she has seen her make tea. She has not spoken about anything else that she may have be, drinking or eating or anything in particular. Let's see. Next, she went on to say that she doesn't talk to a lot of inmates. There are a couple of other inmates that where her and Laurie and they'll sit around a table that seats four. So there's two other inmates and Laurie, and they are all reading the Bible and talking about the Bible, just the scriptures. All right. Next question that was asked in the comment section of a past video to me. Does Laurie have access to the phone? And the answer to that is yes. She has access to the phone, but from what I understand from her friend Melanie Gibbs in her interview, is that she doesn't like to use the phone because she knows it's being recorded and someone is listening in her calls. So if she is calling anybody, she's calling Chad, basically probably her attorney. Next question is about Laurie Vallow's mental health. Will Mr. Means, her attorney, be filing for diminished mental capacity or some form of defense in mental health, being the reason why, she is the way she is? That is unclear. And that has to do with a statement. And the question, I understand why it was being asked, is because it was released on the East Idaho News Bureau that the state has requested records of her actual evaluation that was done because Charles Vallow had made her go and have a mental health evaluation. And Melanie Gibb had spoken about that in her interview a little. They had requested medical records and evaluations that were done there. Now, along with this, I want to make it absolutely clear. I have seen the video that was on YouTube, which is now gone, that was made by another channel. And I've seen the actual documentation that they say is from her mental health evaluation there for when she had to go for the welfare check there in Gilbert, Arizona. And I want you to be absolutely clear. It's fake. It's absolutely fake. Whoever posted that online and that YouTube channel that used it is using a fake document. And it's very clear if you look at the bottom of it where it's actually got the web address information on there from the sender, like it was a fax. Still not sure if anybody uses a fax machine, but that was what somebody obviously put that in there. At the bottom, if you look at the entire thing, it's actually was sent and received from an address in Missouri, not Arizona. So I'm sorry to tell you that, but that's fake. That video has now been taken down. That was the one and only video that that person ever put up on that channel. And I thank you for those who did send me the link to that. Next, what happened? The question is, what happened to the apartment townhouse that Laurie, Chad, JJ, and Tylee and Alex were living in? The answer is not much. It's still sitting there. The owner of the complex and the management has asked to have the family formally evicted, but it is part of an ongoing investigation. So nothing's going to happen there. Along with that, evictions have been placed on hold in the state of Idaho, so they can't be evicted anyways. And the police, again, haven't completed their investigation, and they haven't even been into the place to actually investigate. More than just a cursory look around and see what is out in the open. They don't have a search warrant to search anymore than just, okay, there's nobody here. We know that the missing children are not here in the house, but they can't go digging through, personal files and everything else at this point. They do not have a search warrant for that yet. They most likely will down the road. Next one. What is the official stance from the LDS Church in Gilbert, Arizona, and the other LDS churches where Laurie and Chad had frequented either the temple or the church or both? There is no official statement. No official statement at all from anyone of authority, either the bishop or any of her former friends, other than those who are part of Laurie's little group. So much so, I know that quite a few news outlets have reached out to the bishop, and the bishop has basically said that they have no comment from the church, but on a friendship basis, the bishop was closer to Charles Vallow than ever to Laurie Vallow. I am told that the LDS Church in both locations, and they don't believe in or support the doctrine of what Laurie was teaching. I can't confirm that though. I'm sorry. Next question is, why haven't they arrested Chad yet? Why isn't Chad in jail? He had his wife killed, and he probably took part in the death of Tylee and JJ. Okay, that's kind of a big one. So we'll start with the first part. No charges have been filed against Chad as of June 1st, and that's mainly because the investigation is still ongoing. That's the first part of the answer to your question. The next part is if there is evidence that shows that Chad was involved in some way in Tammy's death or in the death or disappearance of Tylee and JJ, they will, the police, they have, they're going to file charges. They're going to investigate it. They're going to do everything they can, to prosecute him. They're not holding off on Chad because of some other reason, because, he believes in voodoo magic. They don't care about that. What they care about is the truth in prosecuting and arresting the actual people who were involved in this. And yeah, I know, I understand the interviews with Mulaney Gibbs does cast a very dark shadow on Chad. That Chad may be the leader of this religious group, and that Laurie was part of it or co-founder of it. That they're both equally as guilty in all, in the death of all these people around them. But at this time, the investigation is still ongoing. So we need to keep that in mind. There's no evidence that has been leaked right now, as of today, that shows that Chad had any more of a greater part other than the statements by one former member. Nobody else is speaking. So that's where the case is right now. And that's the update on the, and answers to those questions. If you have an additional question, put it in the comment section below. I may not be able to respond to the comment section directly all the time in a timely manner, but I try and I do read them. So thank you again for joining me, and stay safe out there.